guys wouldn't believe this, but I'm going live right now. And I tried to do it 3 times, and it kept saying rotate my device so that I could go live and said something about my screen. So I tried to redo it again, and it said rotate my device, and it would never let me go live. I had to literally turn my phone off and turn it back on to do this live. And I know why, because it's important. You know, the enemy gets in these devices and he causes anything to interrupt you and stop you from doing something that God tells you to do. So this one is very important, you guys. And I'm going to get right into it because you guys will see it later. There's probably nobody that'll pop on. It's in the middle of the day. And so I'm not really going to wait. I have already prayed, and this is a live that I have to do. And it is such a scary live, not for me, but for you guys to hear. It is a scary live. And so I want you to buckle your seatbelts. For you that follow me, 90% of my viewers are viewers that have followed me for some time. I want to say thank you for looking at my videos and continuing to follow me and continuing to stay subscribed. But I want to ask you all that watch and view this video to like this video and share it. Share it with somebody. I don't care if it's one person. Share it, because I want viewers that the other 10% or 20% that are not a part of my YouTube community, I want those viewers to get this information. And so important in the times we're living in, that they get this information that I have. And the information that I have is because I study. The Bible says to study to show yourself approved, a workman that need not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So truth is just not in the Bible. It's in what we study, what we look at, what we research. And there's some things I'm going to talk about this afternoon that are so important. Thanks for getting on. I see a couple people have gotten on. Hi, you guys. Thanks for getting on. I'm going to talk about something extremely important this afternoon, and I really had to get on. And the title of this is called I'm Dangerous. It's called I'm Dangerous. And I was saying that 80 to 90% of my viewers are viewers that have been subscribed to me. And I want to thank you for being a subscriber already. Those of you that are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. And share this video with somebody in your family or people that you know. But let me get into this. I want to talk about how dangerous I am at the end. But I want to talk about the influence of celebrities. And I want to talk about how the influence of these celebrities is going down. It's going down. It's completely going down. And so they're scrambling because the money is drying up. Their fame is drying up. Their influence is drying up. So they're scrambling to stay relevant and to get money to pay for all of these lavish lifestyles that they've been living. Once you start living a certain lifestyle, you want to keep it up. Even us that are not influential, we want to keep up the lifestyles we're living because we've gotten used to those lifestyles. It'll be hard for any of us to go down to, even if we have a small home, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and we have to go down to 1 bedroom. The lifestyle we're used to living is hard to go back down instead of going up. So these celebrities have created a lifestyle and a fantasy that they're selling to us because that's their job when they sign these contracts, to create and sell to us this fantasy. And now in the times that we're living in, they're scrambling, like you saw Rihanna in the last video that I did on the Jay-Z tour. They're scrambling to get relevance, stay relevant, and to create an income to support the lifestyle that they're living. That's why Jay-Z is back on tour. He said he was done, in the being a rapper. Now he's back on tour. He's not just the owner of a football team. He's back on tour and trying to make that money and trying to get the money that he has from Rihanna and the 10 contracts that she signed, those babies that she had, I'm sure was, all of this is alleged, was to keep her out of having to do those concerts. And so now she has to come and pay up. You know, recently she had a shooting at her house. I don't know how much that shooting is involved with what she has to do and produce for the industry, for Jay-Z, or if it was just a random shooting. But apparently she's on tour with him, and she was not her usual self, all glamored up and glitz and glamored. It looked like she had just jumped like she had just jumped in the car and rode down the street and got to the stadium, and the Yankee Stadium with Jay-Z, and said, oh, I just got to do what I got to do, and got on that stage. She's on that stage with glasses on. She's on that stage with an outfit on that it just wasn't a glamorous outfit. And so I just want to say that these artists are losing their influence. What the devil buys is he buys influence. And if this influence is able to reach millions of people, he buys that influence. And I was looking at Pastor Stephen Darby, and you can go and look at one of his videos, and it's kind of was talking about that. And I just want to say that it was just on my mind today about the celebrities and what's going on with them. And then all of a sudden in my feed, I got all this stuff about influence, how he buys influence. And one thing about the contracts that they sign these contracts when they're young, and they are in their 20s or in as teenagers. They sign these contracts, and some of them that have signed these contracts as teens, they don't have the luxury of not going to work like some of us can say, I'm calling in sick. They have to show up when they're told to show up. And so once they're signed as teenagers and they're still in the industry, like, what's that one young lady's name? Begins with an M. Her dad, I got her in the industry. Um, oh my God, I'll think of her name. It's gonna bug me. But anyway, these artists start young, and when they start young and they're older in their 20s and 30s and 40s, they've been doing this all these years and all their life, and they're tired, but their influence is what controls the masses and what keeps us enamored with them, and their fame and how they look. And we used to look at television and want to be them or want to date them. And I was a little bitty itty bitty girl and thought that I could date an older Michael Jackson and that he would be interested in me. I mean, we were just on TV, just in love with these celebrities and thinking that, you know, they would be interested in us poor peasants, and they have influence over us watching them. And with that influence that they have, that they're selling, they sign these contracts and their influence is paid for. And a lot of these individuals that sign the contracts, once they're getting older, they're tired. They don't want to look at Mary J. Blige. She's tired and she's still touring. And she just had a part in what's the name of that show? Force? Was it Force? No, it wasn't Force. It was Power. Yeah, I think it was Power. But it's in 50 Cent's show. And Mary J. Blige is now touring and she's tired. And these individuals that start out younger and continue as they're older, they get tired, and their influence and their look and their age catches up with them. What does it say? My name is Marsha. Hi, and good morning. Um, my sweet slice of lemon cake. Thank you. Um, what's my best shrimp recipe? I like shrimp scampi. And anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge you guys because I want you guys to share this video because most of my viewers are past subscribers and about 10% are new subscribers. So I want people to get this message. So these artists are put in front of us as puppets and they have influence and they sell their influence and they have a light, they have a power, they have a light, they have a gift. And he searches the world to find these gifts. I was looking at something on YouTube and this young lady said, when you start having dreams of celebrities in your dreams, that these celebrities are looking for power or looking to suck that essence out of you because they're losing their essence. And it explains some things to me because I used to have, I've had Bootsy in a couple of my dreams, and I've had Young Thug in a couple of my dreams, and we're not doing anything, but they're there, and they're acting like they're just normal people and that they're friends or that they're cool with you. But this young lady said that they start, when you have celebrities appearing in your dreams, that they're appearing in your dreams because they need to get your essence. They need to get your aura because they're losing that power that they once had. I don't want my phone to die, and I didn't plug it up, and I'm using my phone to do this live, guys. So hold on a second. Let me make sure this is plugged behind me. Yes, I have it plugged behind me. So I don't lose you guys in the phone, guys, okay? Because this is a very important live that I'm doing. I titled this, I'm Dangerous. I'm so dangerous that I just had it put on my heart that I don't need people to be knowing where I live when I move, you know, and here I am, I'm back. Knowing where I live when I move because I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous to his kingdom, and he doesn't want me to get this information out because I didn't realize that I have been prepared for this time as a little girl, that I started out as a little girl. But that's one of the reasons why the Illuminati contacted me 2 times, not once, but twice, because of my influence. And I have such influence that really soon you're going to see my YouTube channel and my Instagram and whatever channel I have, you're going to see it blow up because of the information I have. And not just the information, but the gift I have. I have gifts in my hands. My hands are powerful. I have several dreams of my hands being put on people and just helping them and blessing them and healing them, and just my hands have a power. Last night I had a dream, and in this dream I was escorted by 2 individuals. One of them was another individual that has the same aura and power, and they drove me to this event. We stayed in hotel rooms, and I had my own room. I had my luggage packed, and we were there. And I don't know if I spoke or I did something, but in the end, I put my hands on these people, and it was an electric force that came out of my hands. And when I got back to the room and was waiting for somebody to drive me back, everybody that had driven me or that was there with me had left. They had vanished. They were nowhere to be found. I had nobody to drive me. I was like, where are they at? They drove me here, and now I don't know where they are to drive me back home or wherever else I was going. But when I woke up from that dream, I realized that people would be around me, but then they would be so scared of the power that I had that they would just vacate, they would disappear, they would go. And that makes me realize who I am. And then another thing, another person on the YouTube, I was watching their video and they were saying that there will be a transformation and an activation, and that in that activation, that person would have series of dreams, very frequent dreams or more dreams. And I am dreaming every night, frequently. It was a time that I didn't dream. And then it was a time that I had a few dreams. But now, and then it was a time that I would have dreams and would remember them. But now I'm having dreams that I don't even have to write down. I would have to write my dreams down to remember them. Now I'm having dreams that I remember vividly. I remember them when I wake up, and I apply them to my life, and I know what it means. It means that the time has come. It means that the season has come for me to share this gift that I have with the world and to help people. And that's why I'm so dangerous to the enemy's camp, to his kingdom of darkness, and to his assignment in the industry. I'm very dangerous with the industry because God has had me researching the industry for 6 or 7 years. And for that time period that I've been researching the industry, I have learned things about the industry. Years ago, this dream just dropped in my head. I'm going to share this with you. Years ago, I had a dream about Cardi B and her husband, Offset. This was many years ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago. And in this dream, there was people that were sitting under tents. There were holes in the top of the tents, and it was raining, but these people were just sitting there waiting for Cardi B. They didn't care that it was raining. They sat there frozen. They were frozen. I mean, not frozen with ice, but they were sitting there literally frozen and not moving. And they were sitting waiting for her to come. And she was headed to her house, and they were sitting right in a space that was outside and before you get to her house. And in that space, there were tents over them, like I said, but there were holes in the tents, and rain was getting on them, and they still didn't move. And then Cardi B came in. When she came in to walk through there, she walked past them to get to her house, but she had to be protected to walk past them. When she got to her house, Offset was in the house, and I walked in, and I was in the house, and I literally saw that Offset was he was a substance abuser. And it was, I don't want to say what kind of drug it was, but it wasn't just pills. I'll put it like that. But Cardi B was upset and crying and upset because she just didn't want that life. She was tired. She didn't want the life no more. And she talked to me and she shared it with me. And she just didn't want the life. She didn't want to be a part of it at all. And Offset was just off the chain, just tripping out. Just tripping out. He had a friend with him, and he didn't care what he did in his house. He did not care. And she was just so upset. And these people were still sitting outside waiting for her to perform. And I said that because that dream came to my mind. But I said that to say this, and that wasn't all the dream, but I must stop right there. But I said that to say this, that you don't know what kind of life that these celebrities are having behind closed doors, what they're going through, what they're stressed with, what their problems are. And this was a time before she broke up finally with Offset. I think that it was good for her mental health to let him go finally because of the dream that I had. And because of that dream that I had, I knew that there was something deeply troubling in their home. And I'm happy for her letting him go. But now she's got all this influence. They pull people into the industry because of their influence. And they pull people out of the industry, for the industry, because of the people whose lives are going to be enamored with them, praising them. And you have to be careful when you go to their concerts, because they're looking for that energy, because they have to have that energy to continue to stay live and relevant, and just looking and having that glow. When they first start off and they have that glow on them, they want to keep that glow. As they get older, they lose that glow. They lose a lot of that. They lose the youthfulness. They lose it because a lot of them are into dark magic. There was several girls that are in the industry, and they had a thing on there, what's in my bag. Oh, I have this in my bag, I have this in my bag. All 5 of these artists had tarot cards in their bag, and they were saying how, oh, I got my tarot, I got my cards. And these were artists that you would say that you liked. And it was terrible. It was disheartening to see that each of them had cards in their bag that they relied on. I think one of them was Ariana Grande, but they had these cards in their bag, and they go into this dark magic because they want to stay relevant. They want to stay on top. A lot of them have rejection issues. A lot of them have that. And a lot of them have where they feel like they have to be accepted by people. And so they try to get people like that so they can easily influence them to sign on the dotted line. But these contracts always end with death, because he is a trickster. The enemy is a trickster. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Uh-oh. Okay. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And he's there to trick you into thinking, oh, you'll live long, you have the best life, nothing's going to happen to you. You'll be able to come, you'll be able to influence people. You're going to be this great person. And he never tells you at the end of that contract is death. There was a guy that Stephen Darby talked about. His name was Robert Johnson, and he sang the Delta Blues. And he went to a crossroads in Crawford, Mississippi, and met with the devil. And he sold his soul. And this is allegedly, all this is alleged, but this is what his story is. And he would sing songs about how hellhounds were on their way for him, and he knew where he was going when it was all over with. But they said a month later, after he sold his soul, he was the best guitar player. Didn't learn how to play the guitar in 1 month. And so there's a price that you pay with that. And because it looked so great and groovy, the people, the group from England, and I believe it was the Beatles, came down and went to the same place in Crawford, Mississippi, so they would have the same gift and the same talents. And apparently, allegedly, this group, I'm not sure if it's the Beatles or not, but they sold their soul as well. So I'm just saying that the devil buys influence. He buys influence so that he can get multitudes of people, instead of just that one influential person. He'll get that person that's gifted, and he'll get them to pull other people in. And when he gets them to pull other people in, he uses that influence. And it is just so disheartening to know that these people, that's why they want young children. That's why they are pedophiles, because of the innocence, the youthfulness of young children. It is so sad and hurtful, because you worry and concern yourself about your children, your grandchildren and children. and you don't want anything to happen to them. And just you think about children that are missing, and it hurts your soul to know that the people that you are praising that has this fame, it hurts your soul to know that all this time you've been praising and corrupted and influenced by these individuals that are the stars that are there in the movies, in the music, in the industry, and these individuals have to keep themselves young, have to do certain things. They got certain people that would take babies, children's blood and put it on their face to try to keep their face to looking youthful. And it's just very, very serious that we realize that these concerts, don't go to these concerts, because a lot of them are you giving, sacrificing your soul to, sacrificing parts of your soul to these people so that they can pull you in and get all that worship, all that adoration, and bask in it so that they can remain relevant and influential. And it's sad. It's sad to know that these individuals that we look up to in the music industry, in the theaters, have been worshiping other gods and worshiping and talking to dead people and their aunties like Oprah, uh, 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 um, talking to dead people like Lady Gaga, you know, and worshiping other gods, and it's just terrible. But I titled this "I'm Dangerous," and I know I'm dangerous. I know what I have is dangerous. I don't know the full spectrum of it, but I know that I'm going to be really used in these last times, in these evil times, to pull individuals out that have been in bondage for a long time in the industry. And I know under the sound of my voice that there are going to be a lot of um, artists and influential people that are going to seek after me. And that's why I've studied music. That's why my children are um, very good at music, play every instrument. Some of my children, they play the guitar, the keyboards, the drums like nobody's business. And they're going to carry this on. And this this DNA that is in my life is dangerous, and I've been hidden for a long time from the enemy, and some of you have been hidden from the enemy for a long time, and now you're discovering that this is why you've been rejected by your friends. This is why when you go in a group of people, you get a lot of jealousy. This is why when you go around people, you feel like the atmosphere in the room just shifts. I go into a room and all the attention will be shifted on me, and I will stay quiet and hate it because I know that they're trying to feed off of my aura and they want me to respond. Sometimes people will say things just so I will try to respond in the negative so that they can feed off of that, because these demons, they feed off of negativity. They feed off of you getting upset. They feed off of you replying to them. So you have to learn how to navigate in these situations. You have to learn how to navigate when you go into a room and all the tension's focused on you and people are making comments and saying things and just trying to big you up but they just want you. They don't want you. They want the aura. They want the response. They want the attention. And with this, it feeds them. And everybody that you encounter in a room, everybody is not human. Everybody is not the same. Some people, they'll pretend like they like you and they don't like you. But there is the world we're living in, we're realizing that the world we're living in is not as it seems. There are masks on people, just like we're in this bodysuit. We're a spirit in this body. This body is going to go to the dust and the ground. It's not going to ever be seen again. But the spiritual part of us is going to live on forever, whether we'll be up or whether we'll be down. The spiritual part of us is going to live on forever. And so when we realize this, we got to recognize that there are spirits that are actually in bodies, that people, real people. Now, I'm not talking about the fake people that are just not real, that look like they're real and they look like humans, but real people can open themselves up to spirits to inhabit and take over their body. And those spirits have a field day out here, and they go and have sex with women and men, and it's not that person that's doing it. It is that individual letting the spirits come in that are doing these things. And once you think about that and realize that, it'll make you stop allowing your body to be used by the enemy to let these spirits come in and encounter other people and have these encounters. You're not having an encounter with that person. You're thinking you're in love with that person, and you're having an encounter with this spirit that has gotten inside that person's body. It's crazy out here. There's a lot I could say and that I want to say, but I don't want this video to be really, really long. But I just wanted to say I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous. And because I know this, I know how to move now. I know where to go, how to move, how to be in and out, how to go here or there or not go here and not go there, how to be with someone or not with someone, how to use my light and my gift for good, and to be aware that I have this gift and I have this aura. And how powerful it is, I don't know yet. But when I begin to know how powerful it is, I'm probably going to have to move around and not stay in the same place, or make sure that I stay hidden because of how dangerous I am. And so we're going to talk about this some more another day, about these influential people and how these people are getting tired and how they need your energy to continue to be youthful and to be seen and to get what they're used to getting. We're living in a time now, they're not making the money that they used to. They're not getting paid what they used to. The lavish lifestyles that they were paid to influence people, because they're not doing the job of influencing. People are not interested. You remember the time when Rihanna first married A$AP Rocky and just started having babies and babies and babies. She didn't have to go on tour. She didn't have to do anything. All she had to do was step out, and they get dressed up and step out, get dressed up and step out. And they get paid for that. They get paid for that influence. Now she's on stage with Jay-Z. There's no telling how many places she has to tour with him, and I'm sure they're not getting along like they act like they're getting along, and that's alleged. I'm sure, but that's alleged. So I just want to say that they're not getting the money they used to getting paid. It's drying up. Contracts that they signed, they have to fulfill. It's their life they signed over, and I feel sorry for them that they signed over their life, because they signed over their life. When they get tired, they can't get tired. They have to keep going until they fulfill what they signed on that dotted line. Well, this is Graceful Exposure. Please share this video with someone. And if you're watching this video right now, I want you to subscribe to the channel so that you can get the next videos, because we're going to be going back to back with videos about the influence of celebrities and how it's dying down, and also how dangerous that you are. So I want you to get the next videos. So make sure that when you subscribe to the channel that you hit the notification bell so that you won't miss out on when I drop the videos. Okay? And I'm out of here. I didn't plan on being on here long. This is Graceful Exposure signing out. Take care, guys, and thanks for